going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope you all having a great weekend as we wrap it up here. A lot to talk about as it looks like there's going to be a major storm. If you haven't been following along the other videos, there's a major potential for a major storm here in the southeast, the Midwest, and it looks to potentially bring maybe a snowstorm to parts of the Midwest, a tornado threat for the deep south, and we're going to break all that down here. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel here, much appreciated if you do. It's an awesome way to support me. I've had a lot of growth this year, and this is actually my first full year of doing YouTube with weather. This is a big passion of mine. I try to talk weather with the East Coast, but I break down big systems in general, and this is going to be a big one we're going to break down here. Very passionate guy, and I just appreciate the support. Currently about 84% of people who watch my videos have not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. It's so appreciated, guys. As you can tell, my Twitter links here, Facebook there. Very active on both. On those, I kind of talk a lot of weather about South Carolina because this is kind of where I started off as. But I'm active on and talk weather across pretty much the nation, especially the East Coast here. But follow along. We're going to break the storm down here. We're going to start off. We're going to talk about the severe weather threat and the winter weather threat with this big New Year's Day storm and New Year's Eve storm and leading up to it. So check it out here. At day 4, the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, is already saying a 15% chance. New Orleans, areas in southern Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, far southern areas of Mississippi, already a 15% chance they're saying to seeing severe weather. So this would be at day 4, so this would be for New Year's Eve. You go to day 5, it shifts a little bit east into New Year's Day. So let me tell y'all, it started off here in the southeast and most of the East Coast. It is going to be mild and it is going to be damp and humid for this time of the year. We are going to be bringing in the new year with a lot of rain and severe weather, but places in Texas, and we're going to break this down, has the potential to see maybe winter weather. Oklahoma up to Missouri, maybe an ice storm. So let's break it down here. So this is the European model. What we have here is we got a system brewing right here. It's going to produce a huge system in the upper Midwest, big time snowfall. But what happens here is the front keeps going and you have another low pressure that fires up here and along a boundary, but there's cold air riding on top. So you have ice breaking out, maybe some snow in far southern areas of Texas, and the storm gets going and cranks up here and just it might go from ice to snow in certain areas. Check out Missouri. We're going to zoom into this area because everybody we're watching from Dallas, this is going to come close to y'all. This storm has shifted west. The last video I talked about the potential of Nashville and Memphis seeing snow. Guys, now you're looking at all rain. I'm sorry. I'm just talking as the models shift. I'm just giving y'all a vision on what could happen. Models have shifted well west to the point where the entire southeast is what you call the warm sector of the storm, where you get heavy rain and warmer temperatures and a severe threat depending on how much cape you can get. And we're going to talk about that, but the system gets going and moves on out. So when you talk about snowfall accumulations on the wintry side of the storm, you obviously got the big storm on top before, and then the one gets cranking out here. Now look at this stripe of ice and snow just west of Dallas. But look how deep in the Texas you get with this snow, all the way close to El Paso, almost, and real deep into the core of Texas, close to Austin, Texas. So we're going to watch this. Dallas, you got to watch this because this is close. I know you Dallas folks, I'm not from Dallas, I'm not from Texas, but I know enough about Dallas that a lot of times y'all miss just to the west and y'all are just sitting in cold rain. So you need to watch this storm. We're going to zoom in a little bit closer here, but this is a stripe of heavier snow, and this isn't all snow, this is ice too, especially here in Missouri. We're going to talk about that. So let's get a little bit closer to Dallas as far as the radar simulation here. Here it comes, and then another, basically a low pressure digs right here and re-amplifies the moisture. And look at this snow deep down in Texas. Dallas right around this area, and as it pumps up here, maybe a change over to snow in Dallas. This is just one model, but it's not too far out. I mean, it's this week, right? So 108 hours out. This is getting into New Year's Eve, into New Year's. Would be really cool for you Dallas folks to see snow falling. I was just talking about Tennessee seeing snow falling a couple videos ago. Now it might be parts of Texas seeing snowfall, and Oklahoma maybe an ice storm as New Year ringing in your 2021 here. But the storm moves out, throws the third snowstorm in probably less than a month here in Oklahoma City. Would be they're having a fun start to winter, I tell you that. But here's a close look. I want to put a close up of Missouri because it shows a lot of ice up here, a big time overrunning event. That is some heavy ice. This would be considered freezing rain right here with sleet on the leading edge before transition to snow. But check it out here. We have to watch out Kansas City. Maybe St. Louis for this storm. This is going to be close, but low pressure rides all the way through, way up north, so it changes anything on the eastern side of Missouri into rain if the European is correct. We're talking if. Backside snow, it goes from heavy ice to heavy snow for you guys in Missouri. So, this is a big time system. This is a lot to talk about. So, that's the wintry side of things. Now, there's a severe weather side of things for us folks in the southeast. And, actually, let's break the wintry side of the GFS, because the GFS is showing a scenario too. But it is somewhat in line with the European model, I'll tell you that. So here we go. This is the storm, showing low pressure kind of in the same area that the European model was showing, with some overrunning going on top, where there's some colder air. It gets going. Look how close this backside snow is to Texas. You go into another frame, it's showing snow deep into Texas again, just like the European. And you got an upper level low that fires up here. And let me tell you, for you guys that just know a little bit about weather, upper level low can produce some big time heavy snow if you're in the right spot. They're very hard to pin down where it happens. But this shows an upper level low moving through parts of Dallas, Texas, maybe in just the North Texas here. It gets iffy. They bring their own cold air. This would be heavy precipitation on the backside of this low pressure, this upper level low here, and we need to watch it as it pulls through. But it shows snow a little bit deeper into Missouri. This is a big time system. This would be heavy. This would be a quick, heavy punch of heavy wintry precipitation, whatever it may be. And this actually may be snow instead of showing as rain. So Dallas, can't stress that enough. This might be your storm, might not. But I tell you, it's tricky, and it's hard to get snow in Dallas in winter weather, just like it is here in my hometown in South Carolina, Columbia here. But you check it out here. That winter weather, that severe weather is getting cranked up south of the low pressure, southeast of the low pressure. And then the storm goes on and moves up. But as far as snowfall accumulations, and this is not accounting for ice, this is kind of jumbling up snow mixed with ice. But bear with me, my internet's moving a little bit slow. But check out the big storm on top. And then here it comes, a stripe. The European's showing, I'm telling you, the same similar thing. Now it says 10 inches just west of Dallas. I don't think you're going to get 10 inches of wintry precip, but you never know. This is where the upper level low is pulling through. And this is a stripe of heavy wintry precipitation. There's one thing for certain. The European and GFS are very in agreement with a stripe of heavy wintry precipitation. But you notice the big circle around the southeast, or the big barrier. That tells you right there that is the southeast ridge flexing for us in the southeast. So that's what we're about to talk about. So we're going to switch from the wintry weather potential from this storm to the severe weather, because we might be bringing in the New Year's with severe weather. And I don't know if anybody going to be shooting fireworks here in the southeast, depending on where you are and depending on the timing of the storm. But I tell you what, here, as we're moving forward, we're getting close. Here comes the severe weather threat here. Now we're not in the short range modeling, but we're under the low pressure here in the southeast. And I can tell you right here, and I'm going to show you some temperatures here in a second, this is a lot of wet, damp, moist air as we're getting into New Year's Eve evening, so the 31st evening. This is damp, humid air. It's not going to be that comfortable outside. Well, it'll be comfortable for most people, but I'd tell you what, the gnats are going to be flying around. It's going to feel like spring outside, I think, in the southeast, unless this thing significantly shifts back east. I don't think it is though. But I know this doesn't look like much, but this is resembling a squall line. Back here, we have to worry about individual cells. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We're not in short range modeling, so it's hard to tell. But this is going to be a big time rainmaker. If we flip here to total rainfall accumulation for the time period of this storm, this is what we got. And, you know, it doesn't show a lot, but it shows a lot of rain in Arkansas and a stripe of heavier rain in Georgia and Alabama, maybe into the mountains here. But let's flip to this here. So what this is the GFS, and this is temperatures. So we're getting into New Year's Eve. And here we go. We're getting to the morning, starting to get into the afternoon. Look how warm it is. For example, I'm in Columbia. 71 degrees it's showing for a high in Columbia on New Year's Eve. And these are temperatures New Year's Eve afternoon. My internet will move a little bit faster for me. There we go. So 60s, 70s, Florida's in the 80s. And it's not just 70s and 60s for high temperatures. It's very humid too. Dew points are in the 60s, widespread dew points in the 60s. Now, one thing that's going to be a wild card here is CAD, cold air damming, that may set up. So areas, maybe Greenville, maybe in the mountains, maybe in the Triad of North Carolina, maybe far northeast Georgia, may stay cool New Year's Eve because you're protected by that cold air damming. So we have to watch out. So that's might bust some forecasts as far as temperatures. But this is very warm, and it stays warm. We're starting to get into New Year's Eve day. The cold front associated with this system is starting to bring in some cooler temperatures for New Year's Day west of us. But I tell you what, temperatures climb into the 60s and 70s again for the Carolinas and Georgia. And it's just really going to add the extra oomph to the atmosphere that we need for severe weather. Now, I mentioned the severe weather event, the tornado threat for eastern North Carolina, what you need. So honestly, you need to create supercells, which are basically tornadic storms, rotating storms. I don't know why I was having trouble thinking of that word, which is a rotating thunderstorm is what a supercell is. You need some CAPE, which is storm energy in a nutshell. So you need some CAPE and not just shear. We're going to have plenty of shear in this. Check out this. This is shear for the time frame. Shear, you're going to have winds screaming on top of us. I'm not talking about at the surface. You're not going to have just crazy hurricane force winds or anything like that, but you have a lot of shear in place, deep level shear, which is basically wind energy that really enhances the wind threat to thunderstorms. It like adds that element to any storms that form. So it's going to be kind of like eastern North Carolina threat that really didn't pan out as far as a tornado outbreak like a lot of people thought. But when you add a little bit of CAPE, and that's what this is right here, this is CAPE, and it shows it in that same area that if we flip back here, in that same kind of area right here, you go back to day 4, that is pinpointing severe weather. You go back here, there's a little bit of CAPE. So you add a little bit of CAPE mixed with high shear, deep shear here, it adds a tornado threat for the deep south. I'm talking about the coastal regions, maybe New Orleans, areas in Mobile, Alabama. So it adds that tornado threat down here. Now it shows some CAPE sneaking into the Carolinas too, but we'll have to watch that. I don't think there is as confidence as severe weather in the Carolinas and Georgia as they are down here, but that adds the element that you need for a tornado activity. Now, if that increases, which it could, when we get into short range modeling, it might be a higher tornado threat, but for now, they're just giving you a 15% chance of severe weather down there in the Gulf states and the southern Gulf states. But this is a lot of shear, so there's going to be a ton of wind energy with this severe weather threat. And it's just going to be downright, soggy. And this is dew points. I want to show you all this too. Dew points. Check out the dew points that rise in the southeast. That just tells you, dew points in the 60s. I don't think you're going to get any dew points in the 70s, but it's going to be sticky out there for New Year's Eve and the New Year's. I don't think it's not going to be your classic cooler New Year's Eve, climate-wise, where, temperatures dip into the 40s, maybe 30s. As we bring the new year in, it is going to be humid. Kind of like how it was when we went from 2018 to 2019. I remember it was very humid here in the southeast. It was it was pretty much a precursor of what was to come for the winter. We had a non-existent winter, kind of like how we've had in the southeast the last 2 winters. But hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. We still got 2 good winter months ahead. Sometimes March delivers. But anyways, snow threat west of us, severe weather threat in the southeast, and we have to watch the severe weather threat because once again, on a holiday, this could get a little bit dangerous, but we'll watch out. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for viewing. Y'all have an awesome night, and I hope your week gets going good tomorrow. Have a blessed night.